May I now invite your attention to a short video on WAFA, World Forum of Accountants.
Issue, Ajil. I'm not able to hear the sound.
I'm overwhelmed. I'm excited looking at the crowd that has come here. And I'm reminded of the days when you're started. All of you are aware that the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India was set up an Act of Parliament way back on 1st July 1949. Last message of the day. We have to keep performing for this great country, making it the superpower of the world and empowering our fellow members so that all of us can create history, reach benchmarks. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Again, no sound, Ajil.
We pleased to share that the GCC level cricket tournament will be held in Bahrain on 30th and 40th February. Let us now watch a short video highlighting the exciting initiative. Calendar of upcoming events. 10th and 11th on January, second GCC conference. January, Oman India Investor Forum. 30th Jan to 1st February, WAFA 2. 30th February and 40th February, GCC level cricket tournament. February or Jan or Feb, we are planning the regulatory framework in Oman. Jan or Feb, we are planning transfer pricing and Indian new direct tax code. And many more knowledge enhancing, enriching events lined up. At this juncture, I take this pleasure to invite our respected chairman, CA Udmesh Bhumen, to address the gathering and formally welcome all the participants.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the last seminar CP event for the current calendar year. I'm audible? Everybody can hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. So we thought of having this unique event, which is on how to be effective and efficient, and that's why we coordinated with the work-life balance committee of ICAI. If you see in last couple of years, laptops have become part of our life. COVID forced the officers to enter our office, enter our homes, and obviously the peer pressure forces us to be available 24/7. Though it's a positive sign, it's also a challenging task. So we thought of having to have a seminar or education session wherein we can probably share some insights, some ways and means and out to guide our members on how they can balance it out. Ultimately, the mental health is also very important along with the physical health. So we have two speakers, Rupal Garg sir ji, Jay Chhaira sir. They will be guiding us on these two aspects. I just thought of sharing few pointers from my side. When I was going through the Bhagavad Gita, I could come across one of the important shloka which says Yuktahara Viharasya Yukta Cheshtasya Karmasu Yukta Swapna Nava Bodhasya Yogo Bhavati Dukkha. So that's in Bhagavad Gita chapter 6, 17th verse. It aptly says one has to balance food, work, rest, and then all the negativities will be automatically thrown out. And probably if you look at most of the studies which are happening now on human behavior, your social quotient, the emotional quotient, they always force you to have a healthy mental life apart from a physical ability of any individual. So there are a couple of productivity paradoxes which I came across, which I thought of sharing with you all. So we always say overwork means a better output, and the study says it the completely the other side. The more you work, the lesser is the outcome. We see there are many countries which are now encouraging 40 hours work or maybe 30 hours work with 3-day weekends. It is also a new culture which is coming up. Then the decision capability reduces after you overwork. So a lot of CFOs, the C-suite guys are encouraging to have lesser time in the offices, focus more on your personal health, the family aspects, so that your decisions what you make are very important, because the decisions made by the top guys or the C-suite management people impact the entire organization and their families. And that's why even the top leaders are also focusing on the having specific time reserved for them to be spent with the family, the activities they like, their hobbies. So I think it's the three critical fun facts which I came across. I thought of sharing with all the members. And I will not take much of your time. There is always when I speak, there has to be some shero shairi or shlokas which the members demand. So I just thought of one couplet on this busy schedule everybody has. तो अर्ज किया है, कैलेंडर में भी मीटिंग ही मीटिंग लिखी थी, कैलेंडर में मीटिंग ही मीटिंग लिखी थी, जिंदगी ने कहा मुझे भी थोड़ा टाइम दे दो, जिंदगी ने कहा मुझे भी थोड़ा टाइम दे दो. Though we all want to be very competitive, effective in all the work we do, but ultimately we need to take care of our mental health. That's what will keep us going, and that's the whole objective of having these sessions for our members. And without further ado, I'll hand it over to Ajil. But before that, we have to have a standard, what you say, slogan which we utter at the end of my speech as chairman. I always say, East or West, Indian Chartered Accountants are always the best. And we have to be always positive, and let's learn from these learned speakers for the day. So over to you, Ajil. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman, for your encouraging words and continued leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, we now move to the first technical session of the evening. Our first speaker, CA Rupal Garg. Let us now watch a brief AV introduction.
Ajil, go to the presentation mode, no?
Yes.
We are pleased to introduce CA Rupal Garg, a respected chartered accountant, educator, and practicing partner at SMDA Associates in Agra. With deep expertise in taxation and GST, he has trained over 25,000 professionals since GST was introduced in India. CA Rupal has served as a resource person for the Ministry of Finance of India, conducting GST seminars for tax officers and PCS officers serving as assistant commissioners. He is an approved faculty of the Board of Studies of the ICAI and regularly conducts orientation courses and management communication skills programs for CA students. He has also trained senior officers of the Comptroller and Auditor General of India on Ind AS and has been visiting faculty at universities on taxation, import-export, and cyber security. He has completed multiple ICAI certificate courses and has authored several academic publications in areas crucial for business operations and growth within the Indian economic landscape. Please join us in welcoming CA Rupal Garg.
Now I invite CA. Now I invite CA Rupal Garg to take us through his session on developing a growth mindset in a competitive profession. Over to CA Rupal.
Thank you so much, sir. Very good evening to all. First of all, uh, I must extend my gratitude towards the Muscat chapter, the UN chapter. Thank you for having me here. It's been a real pleasure. And the first thing that I did before I start on speaking anything was to visit the website of the Muscat chapter. And there, under the chairman's message, uh, Honorable Chairman, sir, I found his message and rather interesting. I found a lot of couplets and Bhagavad Gita quotes. So definitely, I was expecting some of this today also. And what you have just read wonderfully explains what a condition that we are all living in. I would also add a very, very simple line to that, and it's always been very close to my heart. Uh, उधार की जिंदगी जी रहे हैं उधार की जिंदगी जी रहे हैं सांसों की किस्तें चुकाकर तो
Wow.
that means that all of us are living in a world where we sort of have this life given to us by the Almighty, and through our breaths, through our deeds, through our works, we actually have to be responsible for all our deeds. And surely one day, probably, all the balances will be reconciled, and all the ledgers will be closed, the trial balance would be completed, and the financial statements would be prepared as to what were your performance throughout your journey. So,
Balance has to tally.
absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. And the auditor is the almighty, of course.
Correct.
So, again, heartfelt gratitude to Chairman Unmesh sir,
Thank you,
uh,
sir. Welcome.
respected coordinator. Thank you so much, sir. Achil sir, who has been coordinating very effectively and has been a real support. Thank you, sir. Also to Committee on Work-Life Balance of ICAI. It's been a rather young committee, I must say, and probably looking at the need of the hour that we have in today's time, probably one of the most important committees. And I had the fortune of seeing a couple of sessions for this committee in the recent past itself, and uh, it's actually been an honor that Jay sir always, the kind of motivation that he gives out to youngsters like us. So definitely looking forward to this session. Very quickly, I'll be sharing my slide. So just allow me to share my screen. Right. I hope my screen is visible in presentation mode. Wait,
Yes, sir.
this is visible in presentation mode.
Yes, sir. We can see it.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Now, as we all know that the topic that we have today is developing a growth mindset in the competitive profession. So first of all, the first word that we have developing, I would like to add something to that, that we are like Hanumanji. We do not need to develop anything. The only thing is probably I am in the role of Jamvanji here, that all of you already possess a lot of mindset which attributes to a lot of growth. I only need to reimagine all these things together with you. So let's have this interactive session, and let's try and discuss as much things as we can in today's session. So right before we start a session, let's have a very quick recap and some prerequisite for starting the session. There are about four prerequisites that all of us must fulfill in order to be eligible for this session. So I hope that all the members actually fulfill these prerequisites. First of all, we are all humans, the first thing, and I hope that we're all humans here. Secondly, is that we all have 24 hours. None of us have any lesser, any more of these hours. The time is limited to 24 hours for all of us. Uh, Again, we're all alive. So, thankfully, for that third point. And the fourth and the most important are also, I must say, sir, very controversial one. Fourth is that we haven't met our creator yet. Now that's a bit of controversy there, because some of the people, they always feel that no, we have had one-to-one with my creator many of the times. So, but in real sense, the Almighty is about to grace us with His presence, and probably the day His presence would be felt, I think all of us would sort of achieve nirvana. But anyhow, I believe that these four prerequisites, all of the members must be meeting. And since, as you already mentioned, that this is about the last CP session for this calendar year, let's have some interactive session with all the members. Now, this is going to be our agenda for the day. The agenda is quite bulky in the text. I would like to summarize this, that in today's time, of course, as we all speak, AI is something that we all must learn. Ajil sir also very, I don't know, probably he used 11 labs or something, but he did a very, very wonderful job at creating the audio-visual presentation of both the speakers. So I believe that AI in today's terms is not complete without EI. And once we can balance AI plus EI, also BI relates to business intelligence, because we all sort of deal with finances. We can get somewhere closer to the HI, which is human intelligence. And anyhow, all these things combined would still remain a subset of the HI. Human intelligence is of paramount importance, but anything that we must do must at all times be representative of the fact that we are all humans at the end of the day. uh, what we all must feel towards each other should have a lot of compassion, empathy, and something which we can proudly say that is represented fact that we're all humans at the end of the day. So this is going to be our agenda for the day. Well, I won't sort of over exaggerate anything. I would simply feel that my agenda is that by the end of the session, probably we'll be happy, and we'll say that the time that we've spent for this CPR session was worth our time, and that's the only hope that I'm carrying. First of all, we do have two types of mindsets. One is the fixed mindset. Second is the growth mindset. Fixed mindset always says that I have done a lot of things in my life. Now probably it's my time to settle myself, and let's not try and keep on learning new things. Uh, we don't know how much that fixed mindset would work, but there is this always second mindset, which is the growth mindset. Growth mindset is a very simple thing, I must tell. So first of all, this growth mindset always talks about having the inner child, the curiosity always alive. And I talk about this growth mindset in a very famous anecdote which relates to Microsoft. So, as we all know, in 2014, Mr. Satya Nadella, one of the very celebrated Indians across, and he took over Microsoft's leadership in 2014. The company was about 300 billion valuation at that time. Microsoft's top engineers were sort of notoriously famous for always trying to outplay each other. They definitely were all brilliant minds, but they were all very notoriously famous to prove their intelligence and prove that they are sort of above each other. When Mr. Nadella took his first meeting, the introductory message that he gave to all his engineers, to all his team, was that, look, gentlemen, the industry that we are all in, that industry respects nothing but innovation. And I believe my fellow from this alma mater would definitely resonate with this, that the industry today respects nothing but innovation. And innovation doesn't come from proving, innovation comes from learning. And let's not be great provers that we have done this, done that. Let's try and keep learning everything, and let's be curious, let's be unapologetically curious, and let's have the right of making mistakes. And this was not what Mr. Satya Nadella said in his first introductory meeting at Microsoft. And this was not just a motivational bluff. This was something which he inculcated in the culture as well. And we could see that the assessments, the appraisals, everything was not just based on how someone has performed, but how curious someone has been, how unapologetic someone has been in admitting their mistakes, and how mindset person carries. And the result, 10 years later, 11 years later, the company of $300 billion valuation is now close to $3.6 trillion valuation. And of course, leads the industry in every possible manner. This was not just one simple anecdote. This was a reminder of what the top leadership thinks about and what it requires to be successful. Sir, I must admit that I've done a lot of things in my life, but at the end of the day, I must also admit that I do not know everything. There are things which are certainly beyond my capacities. There are certainly things which are beyond my knowledge. And there are certainly things which I can learn. So the zeal to learn always is of paramount importance. With this, I'll give you a very personal experience of mine. Sir, I'll have you guessing something. Sir, I belong to a city in India, uh, which, not Delhi, of course, which used to be one of the capitals, or used to be the capital of India. Can you guess which city I'm from? Azil sir, maybe? So my city used to be the capital of India. Any chairman sir, maybe? Any member could guess which city I might belong to?
Kolkata.
Ah, Kolkata is another one good example, but no, sir. My city was the capital of India much before Kolkata became a capital.
Nagpur.
Not Nagpur, sir. Great guess, but not Nagpur. It also has, I must give out a hint. It also has one of the most beautiful monuments of India. Now it's a very easy one. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I belong to the city of Taj. I belong to Agra. And Agra is famous for two things. One is Taj Mahal, of course. It used to be the capital of the Mughal Empire and remained a capital for a very long period. And because of that particular reason, Agra had a lot of people coming from all over the world, and all the guests of the Mughal Empire were treated at Agra itself. Now, what happens, sir? I'll share a very Agra story to all of you. That when all these guests of the Mughal Empire, uh, yes, Gopal sir, in fact, that is true. It also has one of the biggest mental hospital, and it now shifted to Bareilly, but it used to have at one at one period. And as a matter of fact, the birthplace of mine is very close to that place now, not coordinating any or correlating anything. Uh, Agra, when it used to host a lot of Mughal guests, those guests need to be sent out with a lot of sweets and a lot of gifts so that they can carry to their own respective countries. Now, the gifts or the sweets that the Mughals used to pack for their hosts, they used to wear out after a few days. The shelf life of the sweets was not that long. So by the time the hosts used to reach their own countries, the sweet would go sour and it won't be edible anymore. So that is the time when they introduced this sweet called petha. I'm not sure how many of you had this, but if ever you come to Agra, you'll have a taste of this a wonderful sweet, which is called petha. And let me tell you this Agra's petha story and the setback and the comeback. Now, when this petha was introduced, it was something that the biggest advantage of having this petha was that the shelf life was way longer than any other sweet. It could be carried for months and it won't go bad. So it was somewhere around the 17th or the 18th century, and it gained traction. The specific area near Taj Mahal was developed as the hub of petha manufacturing, and petha used to be exported from there to almost every part of the world. Now, everything was going fine, and the industry was taking tremendous shape, and a lot of households were dependent on the industry. One fine day, the Honorable Supreme Court of India came out with a judgment of creation of Taj Trapezium Zone. Now, as I mentioned, the Taj Mahal, which of course is an identity of Agra, it's also one of the biggest boons, one of the biggest tourist attraction. Okay, and a lot of people come to Agra because of Taj Mahal. It also became one of the biggest curses of Agra. How it became a curse? That's because of maintaining the beauty of Taj Mahal, and under the impression that Taj Mahal was taking some bad color because of the furnaces that we used to have. Because all these heat furnaces, they used to emit smoke, and that smoke used to get caught in Taj Mahal, and Taj Mahal was sort of losing its color, losing its beauty because of the smoke. So what the Honorable Supreme Court did, they created Taj Trapezium Zone, and that Taj Trapezium Zone meant that somewhere around in the 10,400 square kilometer area, there could be no furnace manually run on through which they could sort of produce peta or any other sweet for that matter. What it meant? It meant that this was the day for these peta manufacturers, because now they were left with only two choices. One choice was either to abandon everything, whatever they had created over their generational, uh, uh, art or general culture, whatever they had created. The second one was to move to a eco-friendly system where they could sort of work through electric furnaces and adopt greener, cleaner energy modes. Now, this was easier said than done. This was not that easy, but most of the uh, peta manufacturers of Agra, they had to face a very, very, very serious threat because of this. And eventually, many of the manufacturing units, they eventually closed down, they died down. And a lot of sort of blooming threat was there on the industry. Now let's talk about the comeback. The spirit did not die. The spirit was still alive. And what the units did, they came together, they formed an association or they formed a self-help group. They adopted cleaner energy modes. They, to the extent they could create, they created alternatives to whatever they were already producing. And the biggest thing that they did, that earlier the peta that they used to manufacture, probably 30 years ago, if you would ask anyone if you had ever had a peta, they would all know peta as the same white color dish, right? But then they came up with the varieties. They came up all the varieties possible. They could have chocolate peta, they could have pan peta, they could have coconut peta, everything under the sun, and was related to that peta sweet. So what happened? They upskilled themselves. They went to the next level. They did not sort of accept the defeat that they were supposed to have, but they in fact made a very, very strong comeback. And because of this, let me tell you, friends, that the PETA industry today has crossed over 1,000 crores annual turnover, and it's a real testimony to the fact that if human spirit refuses to die, there's nothing that the human cannot achieve. And this is just an example from my hometown, which I wanted to share with all of you. Surely that this has been an inspirational story, and to our profession also, there are a lot of threats that we often feel that there are. But let's not actually be threatened by those things. Let's take leverage of these things, and surely we'll have wonderful outputs. Now, it's very important to realize that change is the only constant, sir. That eventually things are going to change, eventually conditions are going to change, eventually everything is going to change, and beliefs have also changed throughout the years. What probably is a very commonly accepted fact, commonly accepted matter, probably wouldn't last next 100 years, maybe 50 years even. There was a time when everybody used to believe that earth was at the center of the universe, and the all the planetary bodies including sun used to rotate around the sun, rotate around earth. Now try and say that to any person, let alone a scientific person, and you'll have them laughing at you. So beliefs also have changed, and there's nothing that we can know for sure as of the future. uh, as Chairman Sir also mentioned one verse from Bhagavad Gita, I would also like to uh, remind you of one beautiful verse from Bhagavad Gita, and it goes like this: Udhret Atmanah Atmanam Na Atmanah Avsadet Atmev Hi Atmanah Bandhu Atmev Ripuh Atmanah. It's a very, very simple verse, and it talks about only two things. That if you want to achieve salvation or happiness or any goal that you have, the only person who's going to take you through that journey is going to be you. The only person you knew when you were born was yourself. The only person you're going to die with is going to be you. So the only being that truly stays with you is no one but you. If you want to be someone who's a friend of his own soul, you can actually achieve salvation. At the same time, you could also be your biggest enemy. Now, it's a very, very, very thin sort of between being one's friend and between one being's one enemy. What do we feel that we are doing to ourselves? Let's try and take out the third person from our soul, and let's evaluate, let's judge, let's sit and judge what are we doing with this body that we have been given. What are we doing with the soul that we have been lent? I started my session with a couplet which said that उधार की जिंदगी जी रहे हैं सांसों की किस्तें चुकाकर. So it's really, as Bhagavad Gita also says, that this body is merely a vehicle for you to transcend through this journey. Are you taking good care of this vehicle, or are you sort of turning it into a scrap vehicle? Do you feel that after you've left this vehicle, it would be in good shape? So taking care of this vehicle is of paramount importance. Now, when I sort of move ahead, I talk about growth as a very very important thing, and that's really true, because once I have that learning curiosity in myself, I'll be able to develop something of that nature. So let's be honest that growth is not just of the mindset thing. Growth has many spheres around it. Growth is not just uh, financial growth, or maybe physical growth, or maybe rising through the ranks in an organization. So growth definitely is of a lot of different spheres. So this is the growth ladder that I must speak to. As we all know that the first and foremost type of growth that everybody has in the is the intellectual growth. How do I speak about this intellectual growth? Remember when we all were children? We were small beings. We knew lesser of this world. There were things that we could not comprehend, right? This world was still about the same. The planetary motions were still about the same. Everything was being done almost about in the same manner. But what grew? My intellect grew. I probably did not know about a lot of things, which certainly after a point of time I started to understand. And as we sort of reach a maturity level, we try and understand different types of things. So how to attain that intellectual growth is something that that's very obvious in everybody's life. If you compare a 5-year-old child, or a 25-year-old adult, or a 50-year-old person, they definitely have a different intellect. Not saying that it is going to be linear. It might be in different capacities, might be in different persons, as per the person's growth level. But surely that's the first type of growth that we have, the intellectual growth. Do I know more than I used to know? Do I sort of have a better reasoning of things that I used to have? Or am I capable of understanding more than I used to? So there are two things. First is understanding more, and second is the capability of understanding, right? So there's again a thin margin between the two. When I say that I know more things, doesn't mean that I'm intellectually better. When I have the capacity to understand things, that's when I grow. Because see, let's be honest that in today's time you need not know everything. That's also one very important facet of it, because you all have those LLMs now you're using. So you have these Chat GPTs, Geminis, Grok's, Copilot, everything you have at your fingertips. And now you need not know everything. So factual things you need not know. But if ever you come across those things, do you have the reasoning, or do you have the willingness to understand those things? Is again a very important thing. As I saw that there were a couple of uh, technical events also lined up for the coming part. Uh, you know, we are going to have a new income tax code, a direct tax code in India, applicable from 1st April 2026. Is it really that difficult for us to understand? I don't think so. Why? Because we have been dealing with income tax since long. What has changed? Probably the structure of the law has changed. How the sections are being framed has changed. How the text is probably changed. But given the fact that if I wanted to understand these things, can I do that? Yes. So that's my intellectual growth. And that's very, very important that once you qualify as a chartered accountant, right? So it's one thing that you qualify. The second thing is you maintain that standard. And I'm really, really proud to say, in fact, that ICAI truly has been doing a fantastic job in pushing us, all of us, to sort of maintain that level of, you know, professionalism, and also that zeal to learn also is kept alive. In the introduction, Ajil sir very kindly mentioned that I have had multiple certifications. I'll be very honest, those certifications are also one part because of the learning. Second part is because of the CPE regulation. Now, I'll be honest that it's a very, very good way of getting your structured CPRs. You can opt for any certificate course and you get almost your entire year's quota of the CPRs required. So you enroll in any certificate course launched by ICAI, and I'm not sure if that is something that I must encourage, but sure, learning definitely must be encouraged. So that's a very good hack, and I've been doing that for a lot of times. Yes, exactly, sir. Gopal sir, that the Income Tax Act 1961 now replaced as the Income Tax Act 2025. But oh, very nice to hear that, sir. Very nice to hear that former President Jambu Saria sir was here, and I'm sure that that have been must have been a fantastic session. So that's the first part of growth that we were talking about, the intellectual. The second type of growth is, of course, all of us want to have, right? And there's a very good session that Jay sir is about to speak about, a very good topic, which is procrastination. Now, procrastination is something that all of us face. I'm not sure about how much of you are facing it, but I am very genuinely interested in learning how to manage deadlines, because we always have deadlines chasing us one after the other. And in that manner, how to sort of keep up with that is a very, very, very interesting task. Now, as per the physical growth is concerned, a person does have some biological growth, which is sort of natural. You do not have entire control over it. But the physical growth is, of course, when you start to feel better after a point of time, the human mind or the human body, it has reached to its full capacity. Now is your time, how actually you're feeling satisfied with yourself. So do you take time to sort of go up the ladders? Do you actually take time to lift some objects? Do you actually sort of feel good with what you have or not? So having that sense of contentment with one's vehicle, I should say, right, this vehicle that has been temporarily loaned to us for transiting through this journey, how good are we taking care of this vehicle is one very important lesson in this. The third type of the growth is the spiritual growth. Now, spiritually, yes, I'm not sure how many of you would agree with this, but some people, they always say that the earlier generations used to be a lot more spiritually enlightened. Now people are not paying that much attention. I'm not sure how much I agree with that statement, but this spiritual growth sort of is more of having the awareness of your own self, right? When you are aware as to the questions which are sort of the paramount importance: who am I, right? Who am I? Why am I here? What task do I have at my hand, and what am I supposed to do, right? So those are very, very important questions, right? If I want to answer those questions, first of all, there could be multiple answers to that, and I don't think any LLM is yet designed to answer that question on my behalf or your behalf or for any other person's behalf for that matter. So who am I? What is my role in this journey? Okay, what's my purpose, and what am I supposed to do, and what happens after, right? After, of course. So what happens after? So those are questions which often hit my mind, and probably the more they hit my mind, probably the more spiritually I believe that I've been growing. So again, very, very important to have spiritual enlightenment, and that spiritual enlightenment sort of keeps you grounded. That's also very important. The next type of growth is the social growth. And social growth, of course, does not solely represent your LinkedIn connections, does not solely represent your number of Instagram followers, does not simply represent the number of friends you have on Facebook. It also represents as to how many people actually think about you, or if required, how people would remember you. That's really important. And there was this question. I think there's a very fantastic book by Mr. James Clear, Atomic Habits. And that book has one of the, I should say, finest lines. And it goes along somewhere along these lines that wealth, as we usually speak about, wealth is generally measured in terms of the financial wealth, monetary wealth that we have, the reality is somewhat different. The wealth is not just the financial wealth that we possess, it is also the accountability that I have towards myself. Okay. And if a person really wants to be wealthy, so there are about four types of wealth that he must uh, think about. Okay. And it's, of course, it's a very personal choice as to what type of wealth you want to be. First one is, of course, the monetary one. The second one was your physical health. Physical, if you are feeling healthy, probably you are very wealthy. You have seen people who, despite having all the monetary resources or monetary reach outs, they still, because of their physical, you know, I should say, non-activeness, they faced some severe consequences, and that's why the physical health also is a type of wealth that one possesses. The third type of wealth is the social wealth. Social wealth is, I might have a lot of dollars, rupees, whatever currency I'm using, but do I have people? Cannot we not measure people as the currency? How many people do I have? Or how many people I can count on? How many people truly belong to the same tribe as mine? By tribe, I mean that how many people actually resonate with what I speak. So, if I have that sort of social network, am I not wealthy enough? There was this very famous example of Dr. Rajendra Prasad, who, of course, was the first president of India. When he retired from his presidentship, he was, in fact, as you all know, the only president to hold two terms. When he retired, he went back to his old home and in his native city, and it was nothing like the presidential palace or the Rashtrapati Bhavan that we have. It was a very, very, very modest place, very modest house, having very, very modest setup, right? But the amount of respect that he had from his people and the amount of authority that he commanded till the time he was there uh, truly spoke length of the fact that he was one of the wealthiest persons of his time. And I must add to that that the wealth does not confine or sort of is limited to the financial wealth that a person has. At the same time, I also should add that your career growth and your financial growth are of paramount importance. In conquering all these tasks, you cannot at any point of time ignore, because let's face it, this is very important. This is very important for anyone to have a fantastic standard of living, or the requisite standard of living. And one very good thing with assuming all of us is that this prefix of CA, chartered accountant, it sort of guarantees that you'll have a very, very decent life. This is something that I always speak to CA students, that once you qualify, it's almost a guarantee that you'll have decent, I should say above average standard of living. You'll do well financially. There's no doubt about it. If you're a chartered accountant, there's no doubt about it that whether you're in practice, whether you're in job industry, whatever you're trying to do, but if you are trying to actually make the use of that prefix, you will have a fantastic standard of living. Yes, of course, you can elevate that to any levels that you want, but at the same time, do not forget about these type of growths that you must have. Intellectually, you should grow. Physically, you should always keep a check on your health. Secondly, spiritually, are you enlightened enough? Socially, do you have people? People are the most important currency, I believe. Then your career also, your organizational ladders that you might rise to, and financially. Yeah, that's very important too. So these are the different types of growth that we're talking about. Moving forward, right? Personal growth starts with the fact that everybody has a right to make mistake. Now we have several rights embedded in the Constitution of India that are given to the Indian citizens. Uh, Sir, one of the rights that everybody around the world should have, I believe, is the right to make mistakes. Sir, are there any persons in this session? Ajil sir, for example, sir, let me address you. Sir, can you very confidently, or maybe uh, after taking some time, do you feel, sir, that there has been a point of time where you have not made a mistake? Or do you feel that the journey that you've had, of course, through all the thick and thin, everything that you've achieved, do you feel that you have never made a mistake, or you feel that there have been times where you might have gone wrong?
And there are many incidents, especially when we try with the new things and
Sure, sure, absolutely. So that's what I'm talking about. The right to make mistakes. So let's also remind when we were all children, because that's a fantastic phase that we all had. So we were all guilty about the mistakes that we made, and though those mistakes were almost silly, because let's face it, that children, of course, made to sort of exaggerate all the mistakes that they have done, so that they don't repeat that in future. But sir, can as adults, or as members of the society, which is very elite, can we all admit to the fact that we all make mistakes most of the time? There was a very important study which said that a person like Albert Einstein, who probably had the greatest of IQs, he also admitted that whenever I speak anything, or whenever I utter anything, there are only about 50% chances that I'm right. Now, when a person of his stature says that there are only 50% of times when I'm right, so who are we? Who are we to claim that we are always right? And that's the probably the biggest I should say, hindrance in our success, because of that arrogance, because of the embedded arrogance that we have, that we're always right. No, sir, we might make mistakes. Yes, of course. When I'm signing a balance sheet, I'm not supposed to make mistakes, right? The amounts should total, the total should match, the liabilities should be equal to the assets, and the figures should be correct. But sir, we all make mistakes, right? What's important is that even if you have issued a wrong report, you can always revise it. That's very good allowance that the institute does to all of us. And that's a very, very good admission of the fact that yes, we can make mistakes. And probably, sir, that is one of the most liberating feeling that everybody carries. Because once I admit that, sir, I might make mistake, please allow me to correct my mistake whenever I'm wrong. Probably I am lifting the biggest burden from my shoulders. Because now I have no pressure at all. I genuinely feel so relaxed. Okay, I might make mistakes. I won't try to make any mistake. Okay, I promise that I won't try to goof up things. But if ever I do, I should also have the right to correct. It's very unfortunate that in the Indian GST law we do not have that option to correct those mistakes. But in the income tax law we do have, and the right to correct all the revised returns is of course approaching fast, 31st of December. And yes, you can correct your mistakes. So the first and the fundamental right should include the right to make mistakes. That's again a separate issue that growing up, all of us are sort of supposed to be perfect. But the fact is that nobody can achieve perfectness. Sir, I'll share a very, very interesting anecdote on that note. So we all know that the Charlie Chaplin's craze in England in about 1920s was unmatched. Probably what Michael Jackson's craze was in US, similar to that, Charlie Chaplin's craze in UK was sort of unmatched. And in 1920s, there was a competition held in England, London maybe, which was about who can imitate Charlie Chaplin the best. So everybody used to imitate Charlie Chaplin with those small mustaches and all these hats and everything, dress up as Charlie Chaplin, and who can imitate him the best. So you know the interesting part about that Charlie Chaplin himself took part in the competition and stood third. That means there were two people who could imitate Charlie Chaplin better than Charlie Chaplin himself. So who am I to say that I am going to be perfect in any manner, sir? The man cannot imitate even himself. So that means that I surely cannot underestimate myself. I cannot overestimate estimate myself. The only thing that I must have is the right to make mistakes and the right to be corrected at certain times. That's the first part of it. Second part of it is a lot of my personal growth is bound to happen if I start to see the other side as well. What are we doing? We are seeing only the world from our lenses. We are looking as we see it. So, in a conversation, and it's a very famous line from one of the very influential books from Mr. Dale Carnage, How to Win Friends and Influence People, right? Of course, a very celebrated book. He mentioned that once you start looking things from a second person's point of view, probably you do realize that if a person has been rude to you or has been mean to you, probably there has been a reason apart from the fact that he's not a person like that. Whenever we have family members doing things that we do not like, we are very quick to judge upon, shout upon, or confront them. Sir, probably they have their own reasons to do that. And as a human, I would be a very enlightened human if I can take out the time to think the circumstances and the context as to why they did that. Now it's easier said than done. I know that probably I also not am not able to do that at times. But yes, sir, during a conversation, usually the thing that I try is to wear the spectacles of the other person as well. If I am sort of looking after a thing, is the person looking after the same thing? Or are we on the same page? Because, sir, let's admit it that as humans, if we start being on the same page, things would be very easy for all of us. So, the two things that definitely we can do for a better personal growth first is to admit that you might make mistakes, you're not right all the time. And the second is when you start to look from other person's point of view as well. So, probably all the things would almost get sorted. Moving forward, so professional competitions, yes, we are talking about a very competitive profession, and chartered accountancy, for one fact, is something that you know uh, any person who qualifies has a lot of standing to do in the market, has a lot of things to prove in the market. Now, there was a recent discussion regarding that should we actually control the number of chartered accountants who are passing to maintain that scarcity premium, right? The another alternative to maintaining that scarcity premium and lowering the passing percentage was that why not issue a temporary license to act as a chartered accountant in terms of having a re-examination of all the CAs after every 5 years or 10 years, maybe. I don't know what probably Ajil sir might feel about that offer, but I certainly would love that we have about five to 10 years re-examination of everyone to recontinue our membership. Simply because I must say that will actually force us to keep on learning. Now, some might say that I, being the CP lead of this chapter, am facing so much trouble to fix out all the CPRs and to ensure that every member completes their CPRs on time because of this rule that we're having. I don't know about re-examination of every individual after 5 hours, but sir, let's be honest. Uh, we are not here to compare apple to oranges, right, sir? We must be our only competitor at the end of the day. What I feel that instead of comparing your position to my position or someone else's position, let's compare myself to how I am. And that's the best type of comparison that anybody can have. If I gain anything, for example, this session started at 6 p.m. This session will wind up at 8 p.m. If I have improved even 1%, or if I've gained anything even 1% in these 2 hours, probably this session would be a success. And that's the only thing that I should take. I cannot compare from any one person because their circumstances are entirely different. My circumstances are entirely different. So now in these social media times, we have all these people with wonderful Instagrams. And now, as my wife scrolls through Instagram and sees beautiful pictures of people wandering through different countries, and she keeps on sending me these reels after every few hours, reminding me that we have not taken a holiday since long. So that, of course, is a challenge in today's day. And so thankfully, we have taken a recent holiday, but yes. So this comparative shield that we are all having that we are looking at other people's life and comparing us from their standpoint of view. So it's always important to realize that choosing learning over comparisons would take us a long way. Professional competitions are not going to end, right? They're always going to be someone who's better than you. That's one of the lines that MS Dhoni famously said in his Instagram retirement posts when he retired in 2020. And best wishes to the Oman chapter for and Bahrain chapter for having this cricket tournament. But one of the famous Instagram posts of Mr. MS Dhoni uh, had this song, "मैं पल दो पल का शायर हूँ, पल दो पल मेरी जवानी है." One of the beautiful lines of that song is कि कल भी कोई आएगा जो मुझसे बेहतर होगा. मैं भी आया था किसी से बेहतर होकर, कल भी कोई आएगा जो मुझसे बेहतर होगा. That means that tomorrow someone is going to come who's even going to be better than me. So I cannot achieve immorality. What I can achieve is a sense of satisfaction that whatever I've done is good enough. It is good enough, and that satisfies my soul. And that's the only thirst that you must quench. Nothing else matters. Probably in the long term, choosing learning over comparisons is definitely going to take us a long way. Sir, we must take ourselves out from this crab mentality. What is this crab mentality? So, of course, as all of us know, that when you put two or three crabs in a bucket of water, uh, as one crab starts to rise up and tries to get out of the bucket, the other one doesn't push it, rather pulls it back. And the other one also ensures that if I am not able to get out of the bucket, the other one is also not able to get out of this. What is this crab mentality? That if my growth, so that's the fact that we have in some of the corporate cultures and some of the organizations, but we need to get out of this crab mentality, and we need to get out of the place which we feel that has this sort of mentality where if you're not able to achieve that growth, you also stop other people from achieving that. And that's a really uh, you know alarming sign of any place. So we must sort of realize whether we are not part of this crab mentality. And right, sir. Uh, Moving forward, sir, let me also ask my fellow colleagues, my members, respected members. So there are always two things to look about: journey versus destination. So which one we feel is the most important one? Whether journey is important or destination is important? If my members could comment in the chat box, whatever they feel, what is important, more important. Journey is more important or destination is more important? Journey, right? Okay. Journey, okay. Okay. Everybody's saying journey. Okay. We have four votes about it. Destination is never fixed. Correctly said, sir. Correctly. Destination keeps on moving. It's relative. It's relative. Right. Right. So everybody agrees on the fact that journey is more important.
Sorry, sir.
Okay.
Sorry,
Please,
sorry.
sir.
Sir, when you say destination is fixed, sorry, destination keeps changing. But
Mhm.
but in this conversation, when we are in more in a philosophical line, if destination is salvation, then it's fixed.
Sir, at one point of time, we do feel that salvation is what we want to achieve. That's true to some extent. But sir, does it not require for all of us to actually carry out our daily jobs in a manner that we are going to sort of sleep at night peacefully, thinking that we have done our job nicely? Because let's face it, sir, who is going to guarantee that salvation for you? Let's face it that we all are humans at the end of the day, and we all have humans surrounding us. Can any other human, let's say how philosophical they are, let's say how high-minded they are, can they actually guarantee this salvation for you? I'm not really sure. Sir, your take on that?
It's not guaranteed,
Sure.
but we endeavor to achieve that, attain.
True, true. True. Absolutely correct, sir. And what's the right way to do that? Because we have, uh, I should say, thousands of religions, and every religion preaches a different manner of achieving that. Surely, sir.
Yeah, agreed.
Sir, journey is important. Very true. And destination is also important. So, sir, what's my proposal is what feels right to you is important. Because, sir, as per the Hindu mythology, you sort of know about these three yugs that we have. Was the, of course, Satyug. Then we had Treta Yug, Dwapar Yug, and then the Kali Yug, which is the present one. The god of Satyug, of course, was the Almighty who ensured that everything went according to his laws. The god of Treta Yug is said to be Lord Ram. Lord Ram had some ideals which he followed throughout his life and throughout his all the deeds that he did. His ideals involved very idealistic things, which of course he wanted everybody to follow. Throughout his deeds and throughout his journey, probably one thing which he could never have was true happiness in terms of being with his family, because of course we knew how events planned out and events turned out to be, where he also, after he won in the Ramayana and in the in the all the battles he won, after all the battles he won, so he could not even be in peace with Mata Sita, and eventually the story turns out to be of not what idealistic approaches can do, but what cost the near and dear ones actually bear. Now, Lord Ram, despite all these things, affirmed his belief that you must do the right thing first. Okay. Coming to the contrast of Lord Krishna, who was the Lord of Dwapar Yuga, his ideals were very different. And if you'll have a very simple comparison, his ideals were that journey is important, but the destination is rather more important. Why I say so? Because there were many incidents where he did not sort of thought about the process that he was taking, but rather he was thinking about the end results. Journey is the process that we're taking, and end results are what we have as the final destination. You
Rupal
knew
sir,
that,
Rupal
sorry.
sir, you have 5 more minutes, sir. 5 minutes.
Sure, done. Okay. So done, absolutely. So when he spoke about his experience in Mahabharata, what he said, he made one of the key persons from Mahabharata who never uttered a lie in his world, Yudhishthir, he made him sort of come out with a half truth, which was about uh, everybody knows about Ashwatthama. Stark comparisons between the two ideals. Now, what I wish to place here, so in the fight of journey versus destination, we find the ideals of Lord Ram played more emphasis on the journey, while the ideals of Lord Krishna sort of focused more about the destination. Now, what if we compare those two ideals? What do we get the result as? So, my humble submission is that we are neither living in Dwapar Yuga, we are neither living in Kali Yuga, we are Satyug or Treta Yuga, we are living in the Kali Yuga. And for those who believe in this Kali Yuga period, it's very important to realize, sir, this is not about black and white. We're all operating in the gray area. And probably you'll agree with that to some extent, that all of us are operating in that area where things are having a very fine line. What is important is journey or destination. Sir, there's no fine answer about that. There's no fine answer about that. The only answer is whatever you feel is right. Because, sir, ultimately, who is going to be the judge of your consequences? Nobody. Nobody else is going to judge you for that. Only your soul or your mindset is going to judge you for that. And that's the only thing that you must realize. And once we realize that, the guilt trap is taken out. We are taken out of the guilt trap because let's be honest, sir, this guilt trap has held back a lot of our actions. That what if I do this? What if people are going to say? What if I do this? What people are going to say? Or what if I am going to get scolded? This already always happens right from the childhood phase where everything that we do requires validation. Everything that we do requires validation in terms of validation from parents, from teachers, from our neighbors, from our relatives. And now, sir, now that we most of us have achieved whatever we have wanted to do, sir, we still require some validation. And I think the biggest type of validation that we can do is self-validation. There's a very beautiful line taking inspiration from the respected chairman, sir. I'll again give a very beautiful line that हमको मन की शक्ति देना, मन विजय करें, दूसरों की जय से पहले खुद की जय करें. Which means that I must have the courage to accept my own victory before going down to anyone else. And that probably is a very important aspect of having this journey versus destination sort of discussion. So you can let me know whenever I need to wind up. I have a few more slides.
Yeah, another 2 minutes.
Sure. uh, I do have something from yes, correct, sir. Gopal sir has also wonderfully contributed to that. So sir, what is more important, journey versus destination? I think the perspective is important, because again, at the end of the day, sir, your perspective is going to be different from mine. What I see the world through is going to be entirely different from yours, and the best way to have understanding of your perspective is to have some empathy, is to sort of realize that you have certain different context than mine. And once we do that, probably a lot of things become very easy for all of us. Moving forward, there are a few things that as chartered accountants, as professionals, we might do is focused on continuous learning. Okay. We should treat every assignment, every challenge, every failure as an opportunity to learn and upskill. It should not be a judgment of your abilities. As I said earlier, it should not represent your failures. It should represent the curiousness that even if I fail, I am ready to bounce back. There's very famous anecdote where uh, a gentleman whose car company nearly went bankrupt in 2008. He took out a loan. He had to sell major parts of this company. He took out a loan, and some $110 million he raised. He had two other companies. He put out $90 million in the first company. He put out $20 million in the second company. He again had to borrow for rent the next day. That gentleman who nearly went bankrupt 2008 is today the richest person in the world, Mr. Elon Musk. This is Tesla I'm talking about. This is the story of Tesla, how he nearly went bankrupt because of his continuous failures, because people were not ready to simply accept what he was producing. And did he let that drown himself? No, surely not. His mindset was different. He had a growth mindset, and that is what we are trying to imbibe here. Uh, I also must welcome feedback. Yes, not just me as a person, everybody must welcome feedback. Yes, if you have something else to tell me, surely you can tell me. I am not going to judge you based on your feedback of mine. So, what we usually do is when someone comes up that, listen, you did this, you could have also done that. That person is probably not judging you. That person is probably a friend who is actually trying to motivate you to do better. So one of the very important things is not to sort of resent feedback, to actively seek feedback or uh, have some constructive criticism let come in our way. Again, as I mentioned, that to avoid comparison and to encourage collaboration, as we have collaborated together, Muscat chapter and the Work-Life Balance Committee. So beautifully, they have come up with this session, and this collaboration, I believe that should take us in a long way. Uh, Also, we must set our learning goals in terms of as chartered accountants, because let's face it that there is not going to be a point in our lives when we can actually close down the books, or we can say that we have actually retired. Because let's be honest, any chartered accountant, sir, retirement is not a real word. We never retire. We continuously work. We continuously learn, and that's the hallmark of a chartered accountant. Their abilities to solve things to come up with different solutions is probably a hallmark of their brand. And that's why it's really important for us to have self-learning oriented goals and replace I can't, I cannot with I haven't, I should say. I haven't. That it's not something that I cannot, it's something that I have not. Because if I wanted to, I could have. So again, that acknowledging that you have limitations at the point, but if wanted to take that challenge, you could have taken that challenge. uh, Again, celebrating others' success. Yes, whenever your peer, your colleague has something to achieve and has achieved something, yes, you must rise up and acknowledge the fact that they have done some hard work because of which they have got the success. And it is actually going to create a very good environment. In terms of it is going to make you feel a lot lighter and not resent anybody's success. Staying curious, again, very important to keep on learning, keep on exploring new things, and practice resilience. Okay. Uh, every setback must be must be followed by a comeback, and the comeback must be stronger than the setback. Building a growth oriented circle, as we all are here for the CPE session. It definitely is a testimony to the fact that we are all curious. We all want to learn. We all have that zeal to do better for all of us. And investing in the soft skills that we have. As I mentioned, AI plus EI is really, really important. That's it from my side. Thank you so much for being such a patient, lovely audience. I would definitely look forward to any questions or any interactions with you in near future as well. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ajil sir. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, CA Rupal, for sharing. You were mentioning that validation. Yes, all of us. And today you help us to validating and touching upon many points, especially you given the powerful insights on growth, wealth, and you're saying in front of, in face to us, CAs are not perfect. And there is a lot of scope for growth and also satisfying my own soul is more important than any other thing. And we cannot be perfect on certain things, but always be focused on our own soul. Thank you, Rupal sir. Thank you so much. Next, we'll be moving to the second technical session. Ladies and gentlemen, now I invite our second speaker, CA Jay Chhaira, and we'll be playing a AV for the introductory.
We are honored to introduce CA Jay Chhaira, a distinguished fellow chartered accountant with an outstanding record of achievement. With several advanced degrees and qualifications, he has studied advanced management at top institutions in Italy, Germany, the United States, the United Kingdom, and China. Deeply involved with the ICAI since 1995, he has served as the chairman of Surat ICAI, vice chairman of Western India Regional Council, and on the Central Council for 3 consecutive terms. He has chaired more than 30 national and international committees. He is presently the chairman of the Professional Skills Enrichment Committee, as well as the Committee on Promoting Work-Life Balance of the ICCAI. CAJ has represented India at prestigious higher education forums in Los Angeles, Milan, Guangzhou, Phuket, London, and Paris. He has been recognized by the President of India for his outstanding research and the Chief Minister of Gujarat's Award for Science and Research. Please join us in welcoming C.A. Jay Chhaira.
A very good evening. Ajil ji, am I supposed to start with?
Yes, please.
I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. A very, very good evening to all of my dear friends here at Oman. Actually, I was supposed to be a little earlier, but there was a board of studies academic program going on simultaneously in physical mode. I was in that program. The moment that program was over, immediately I have come to this virtual program. And for that, and that there was actually another reason, in the cricket, the batter batsmen come in the opening. So I just thought that let me come in one down. Sir, I don't want any PPT if you can remove that.
Yes.
I don't know any PPT or anything. I would rather like to look at the beautiful faces of Oman chartered accountants. I know many of them and I would be very happy to see them. I have seen a few of my friends here. Jim was there, Chintan Bhai is there, and many other friends are there. If somebody could start the video so that I come to know that I'm not talking to my iPad. Well, first of all, Vipulji, thank you very much for putting that Chintan Bhai. Once again, thank you, Jim. Thank you very much. Because, honestly, when you can look at the people, then only you can be a natural speaker. Otherwise, it's very difficult, believe me. Gopalji, thank you very much. And Rupalji, thank you very much for accepting the invitation on behalf of the committee, as well as, of course, the Oman chapter, and delivering a fantastic speech. You have done my task very simple. And the topic that has been given to me is about procrastination, deadlines, and like that. And believe me, friends, I'm not going to quote anything from any sources or anything. I'm just going to talk to my friends and whatever I am doing in my life for some improved productivity. If I can share with you, right? And if we can learn from each other, Amitji, thank you very much. So I think that would make the purpose served. So let us first start with time management, right? Procrastination comes out of that. Time management, if you look at it, then time management is not about scheduling each and every minute. There are some people who try to schedule each and every minute, and thereby we become pawns of time, right? Pawns of time. That is not the concept. Of course, scheduling is important. Of course, prioritization is important, but that does not mean what I teach you. Time management is about more disciplined choices. And sir, more than that, Umesh ji, time management is life management because our time is our life. If I can manage my time well, then I can manage my life well. And Gopalji, it is not about somebody else. It is about our life. And if I have to enhance my life, then naturally time, it is all the units of time which makes my life. And that's why time management is utmost important. And when it comes to my life, do I have to refer to some books to understand time management? Probably not, though I may refer or something, but this is something very, very important for me. Time management is much more about priorities, setting priorities, and at the same time, dealing with the inevitable surprises. Friends, in the last 10 days, I had to take 15 flights. I was supposed to be for professional development program at Jodhpur, at professional skills management program for at Varanasi, at Mumbai, at Delhi, a number of programs. And the current scenario in India about the flights. You go to the airport and then they will say it has cancelled. So you can understand surprises. 10 days, 15 cities, full of surprises. How you handle that? In Jodhpur, it so happened I had one flight. I went to the airport, they cancelled it. I booked another immediately because I had to reach Delhi anyhow because of the important high profile program. That got cancelled. I booked the third one, and every half an hour it went on extending. For 6 hours, they made me wait. Now tell me, how do I go to Delhi with that meeting? Either with the frown on the face, or I know very well, you can do nothing. So just enjoy whatever is happening. In 6 hours, you are at Jodhpur, eat some delicacy of Jodhpur, enjoy it, and thank God that he has not punished you when it was very, very important, right? Somehow, such type of things happen. Time management is more about life management and how you deal with it. It's about, how you look at life, right? You cannot control everything. The only thing that you can control is your emotions, your thoughts, and much more important, your actions. So now, if we talk about procrastination, well, many people feel that procrastination is laziness. To a certain extent, it might be okay, but I believe it is not about laziness. It is poor emotional regulation. Umesh bhai, just think about it. It is always emotional regulation. We miss out upon emotions. right? Laziness may be a part of procrastination, but I think more of this is like that. Delaying important but uncomfortable tasks. Now that is procrastination. So it may be uncomfortable, but it is important. I think that is what procrastination would mean, right? Or maybe over preparing instead of executing. This happens more with chartered accountants. People, by that happens more with you and me. Being chartered accountants, many times, we want to be perfectionist. And the myth of perfectionist does not allow us to move further. I'll only execute when I am perfect. So, on the lighter vein, one gentleman who never got married in his life, at the age of 80, somebody asked, "So, why did you not get married?" "Oh, I was looking for a perfect woman." "Oh, you did not get throughout the life?" "No, in the initial 30 years, I did not." Then what? "Then I saw one." "What happened?" "She said, you are not the perfect man." So, the point is, of course, there's a lighter note. What I'm trying to say is, there is nothing like perfect time, right? And I'll just tell you one very simple rule of 80-20. 80-20. There is a book also called 80-20. If you read it, it's fine. Otherwise, within 2 minutes, I'll tell you what exactly it is. Just do it. That Nike concept. Don't keep on waiting. Just do it. Imagine, I think the previous speaker, if he's still there, he was talking about Ramayana and all. Just imagine the Vanar Sena is there in India, going to Sri Lanka, building the bridges. And Rupalji, if that bridge was being built, and they would say, "I want a perfect bridge, and then only I'll go ahead," then I think Ravan would have retired, Vibhishan would have retired, Meghnad, everyone would have retired. Right? So you just start with whatever it is, 80-20, just jump into it. Maybe you have certain limitations. That does not mean jump blindly, but don't be too cautious. Now, we chartered accountants learned the concept of conservatism, prudence, to such an extent that many times you don't take the steps. Friends, just check it out. Is it not so that many times we decided, let me start with an entrepreneurship, or let me jump to another organization, or let me try out something new, and then we not did it because we waited for something perfect to happen, and that never happens. So there is the beautiful concept of 80-20, right? Now, procrastination, if we talk about, why do procrastinate? One is fear of failure. One is fear of failure. What if I fail? But friends, if you don't start, you always fail. There are chances, if you start doing something, of success. If you don't do, sir, very honestly, today, the Board of Studies had a very important program, and the Board of Studies chairman came to my city. It was my duty to send him to the airport. I was not very sure whether traffic would allow me to reach this program or not. But one thing would be fear of failure. I would have avoided. I would have called Ajil ji that, see, this is a very important program I cannot handle. But I thought about it. Let me try it out. Let me just see to it. I see to it that the first speaker, by the time he speaks, I'll come back very fast to my office and then deliver. So fear of failure, it's okay to fail. What's the problem? I think this you have to learn from, we have to learn from Americans. They have a very simple concept of let the failure be celebrated. That does not mean that you have to fail every time and you celebrate any nonsense things. But the point is that, once again, like the previous speaker, he was talking about Mahabharata. So let me also take that clue from that. Krishna telling Arjun the Bhagavad Gita, and that was it. You put in your efforts here. Where is the question of failure? Right? You have to put your efforts. Effort is in your control. Because I'm taking the clue from the previous speaker. So I'm using his language. He was talking about that मैं पल दो पल का शायर हूं. So I'll also join something on that. Right? So another is fear of criticism. That is also a very big problem for us. The more learned you are, the more we are something, oh, I'll be criticized. So it is said that if you don't want to be criticized, don't do anything. Don't do anything. Don't say anything. So just forget it. What others are going to think, if I think that, where is my life moving towards? The most crucial thing about this procrastination is no prioritization. Friends, I'll talk about only 2 or 3 points, which if you work upon that, see, theoretically, I can take up the books, I can compile them, I can show you some great things, but instead of that, if I discuss with you 2-3 points which you can take up and you can work on that, I think that will enhance. And that is more important. And rather than quoting some great person, as a chartered accountant, whatever I could understand, limited in my life, let me just pass on 2-3 things which might be of some meaning. So, prioritization. See, we have to prioritize. And at different points in life, there are different priorities. I tell you like this, what I do. morning till morning 9 o'clock, I don't use this horrible thing known as mobile. And after this session, once I have 9 o'clock India time, this mobile is going to be switched off. 12 hours mobile fasting compulsory, 9 to 9. My priority is very clear. Boss, this is my time. Ajil ji might be a very good friend. Amit Khare would be a good friend. Rupal ji now is in touch with me. If he calls me at night 10 o'clock, sorry, you might be important, but not at this time. You are not my priority at this time. Right? So the point is, then somebody will say, what if there is urgency? Boss, मैं कहाँ doctor बना था? I am a chartered accountant. कहाँ urgency है? Nothing has happened. People, when there was no phone, you and I were living so very happily. There was nothing urgent happened. Now what is going to change? So, priority. 9 to 9, my priority is very different. My time with my friends, with my family, my time with myself. I am the most important person for me, at least, if not for somebody else. Right? My time for my spirituality, my time for a good sleep, and maybe some dreams also, which I cannot discuss with you, of course, on a lighter note, whatever the case may be. My point is, in the morning also, once I get up, I don't have time for all these things. Any Tom, Dick, and Harry sending me any message. Somebody sending me horrible video. Somebody sending me Vivekanand message. Somebody sending me some good morning. I don't want. Let me have my time. 9 o'clock after all my exercises, getting ready, after my breakfast, even at the breakfast, I don't want this atom bomb. This is more deadlier than any bomb. After 9, easily once I go to office, I switch on. Similarly, at the lunch time, 4 o'clock means 4 hours, no mobile. So anyway, it's about priority, right? 9 o'clock when I'll start my mobile, I'll check out all the numbers, and I'm sure any of you who has contacted me by any means, by email, by message, by WhatsApp, by call, you always responded within 24 hours. Right? So priorities. Till 9 o'clock, my priority is health, exercise. Right? Rupal ji might be very correct that we might be into Kali Yuga, but let everybody in Kali Yuga. In my mind, let me be in my Yuga. Right? My mind is my product. Let me be in whatever Yuga, Treta Yuga and Satyuga or whatever. At least I can create for me for some time. Right? Let it be Kali Yuga anywhere outside. So the point is that priority is about our thing. We have to decide upon it what we want to prioritize. Unclear goals many times lead to procrastination. We ourselves don't know what to do. Right? We ourselves don't know what to do, or unwanted interruptions. See, I have a habit. I don't use this mobile on a regular basis. And I would give you some 2-3 suggestions. I'm sure many of the chartered accountants can find it practicable. Today, Ajilji, what we are hit is, Instagram, LinkedIn, right? Every sometime, beep, 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 LinkedIn, like that. So the first and foremost thing that I have done is I have not kept any social media on my mobile, no Facebook, no Instagram, no LinkedIn. Now I am not telling someone to become Baba, that get rid of everything. What I have done is very simple. I have kept everything in my office computer. And that is with my staff. So that surely means during 24 hours, this is not going to beep. Maybe 15, 20 days, someday by chance, if I open LinkedIn, I think that serves the purpose. Right? I don't want every 5 minutes there is a beeping and I go here and there. The previous speaker was talking about Mahabharata. And if you talk about Mahabharata, he talked about Yudhishthira. So if you talk about Krishna, you talk about Arjun, then the most important thing about Arjun, why? Now look at this beautiful thing. Why it was only Arjun who got the knowledge of Gita? Why not Yudhishthira? He was the Dharmraj. Focus, sir, focus. If you want to get Krishna, you have to get the focus of Arjun. Otherwise, it does not happen. So this is distraction. It is not going to allow me focus. So I'm very clear about it. No LinkedIn, nothing. WhatsApp I have kept. The reason is only one. And that also I keep in silent mode most of the time. Because my chartered accountant friends, my students, when they require any help from my side, as a council member, I have to be available to them. While I was not in the council for 3 years, I was not using this mobile account. At ease. Delegation. Delegation. Why should we take repetitive things in our hands? Anyway, unclear goals, unwanted interruptions. We have so many interruptions for no reasons. I hope that in Oman the situation is different. in India, some of the cities, it so happens you are sitting in the office and the client passes by and he says, "Arey, idhar se ja raha tha to chalo milke jao." Ah, very good. Dharamshala, aa jao. Anytime interruptions. And then we say, we go out of the way to please the client. Boss, that is not we have to do. I'm there to make people happy. I'm not there to please them. I'm there to give the best services. But I don't want that anyone interrupts me at any point of time. So see, some few things we'll have to do. Some few things. Inability to say no. Many times, you want to say no, but out of, other person, what they will think, you say yes. Or the most important thing, unorganized work. Unorganized work. Sir, you are most welcome at any point of time. You come to Surat. I'm based at Surat in India. You come to my office. My desk is always clear. You check my mobile. Mostly you can check. And you will not find anything extra. Right? Everything is clean, neat and clean. Right? When I get a call from someone, unless his work is done, that call will appear. The moment I complete his work, I delete it from my call log. So you know what will happen? In my call log, I'll see only 2 or 3 missed calls. So in the tomorrow morning, I'll come to know that I have to call these 3 gentlemen only. Once the work is done, delete it. Once the work is done, message is deleted. By way of that, in the last 2 decades as a council member, there is not a single member or student who can say that he wanted to communicate to me and did not get the answer. Clean. Everything at most clean. The moment this program is over, right, I'll immediately delete the WhatsApp that Ajil ji has sent me regarding this program. Now the work is over. So let me only focus on what is left out. Right? Very basic. And sometimes you're so clumsy mobile, and this clumsy mobile makes the clumsy mind. I think you will agree with me. Now, mobile has become a part of our body. Though science many years back told that cell is a basic part of the human body, now it has become true. So I don't want overload in my mind. At ease. In the morning, you check my mobile, nothing is there. Clean. Clean. Calls, messages, emails, everything smooth. And I have a schedule. So can we make a schedule? The moment 9 o'clock I'm at my office, I'll quickly check all the emails, clear off most of them. Maybe some 2, 3 because of some reasons I have to wait. Similarly, I complete all the calls. And Ajil, I have made another habit. Generally, in the morning and in the evening, 2 slots, when I call back people, that is my walking time also. I go in park, keep on walking, complete the calls, come back, both the benefits. So maybe, this is how I'm doing. You may have your own ways. And Oman is a beautiful place. You have so many good places to walk. Maybe you may take the advantage. At least some of our cities are too, with traffic, we might not be in a position to do that. But you have that luxury. You are in a beautiful place. Unorganized work gives more stress than anything else. Believe me, it is not the work which gives stress. It is the incomplete work, our inability to handle that, which stresses us. Right? So these are some of the reasons why we procrastinate. And there is a beautiful, when you talk about deadline, that is one of the topics that you have given me. Sir, there is a Parkinson's law. Very interesting. And the law is work expands to fill the time available. But listen to it. Work expands to fill the time available. So the more time available, we'll procrastinate more. Let us not do that. Right? It is our life. For that, like the previous gentleman talked about some books. One interesting book was Eat That Frog. The book said that, it was by Brian Tracy, which said that, get up early in the morning, take the ugliest frog, right, and eat it kacha, raw. Bole bhai, because throughout the day, nothing worse than this is going to happen in your life. So similarly, when you have so many tasks, generally, the most important task might be the most unpleasant task. If you eat that ugly frog the first, then you know very well, I can do everything else in my life very easily. So maybe that is the right way to start. That does not always mean that you do that first, but generally, if I can handle the unpleasant task very well, then I'm sure about it. If I could do this, I can do everything else. Maybe this can be the starting point. Well, some of the reasons for procrastination is unpleasant task. Now what to do regarding unpleasant task? If you are really supposed to do that, do it. See, the simple strategy for against procrastination is D, 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 D. I'll come to it. So if there is an unpleasant task, Umesh, only two things can happen. Either this has to be done or this has not to be done. Very simple. Now, whether it is unpleasant or not, if it is necessary to do, many times during holidays, it is unpleasant even to take bath, right? Many times it so happens, particularly when you are at ease, too much of ease. So if something is unpleasant, check it. Is it really you want to do? If the answer is yes, do it. If the answer is no, delete it. Now don't be in between. Next is complex project. Complex project. Many times you procrastinate because the project is very complex. There the concept is simple of pizza. Pizza rule. Take one part at a time. You cannot eat the entire pizza together. So take one piece and piece by piece you keep on doing. Defer. Sir, strategy is very simple. D. Defer it. Right? Eat some part of it now, some after. Many times we come up with some major projects. It cannot be possible to handle the entire project. Okay, at least start with something, Rather than not starting, if you start, it is always said the journey, in the entire marathon, it is always the first step which is the toughest. At least start with it, no? At least start with it. Eat the first slice of the pizza. Maybe after that, you'll be much more comfortable with the other slices. Next is fear of failure, as we discussed about it, right? Or lack of interest. See, lack of interest, once again, the same thing. You don't have the interest in that. Check it. Is it important? Yes. Do it. Right? You have some disease. You are supposed to take some bitter pills. You don't like it. So, is it important to do that? Yes. Do it. No. Delete it. Of course, if you delete this, you will be deleted. So don't do that. The point is that, see, in between there is no way out. Do it. Delete it. What are the other options? Right? Myth of perfection, as I said, let me be perfect first and then come with it. No, nothing like that. There is nothing like perfection. While excellence is important and excellence in everything is important, I'm not sure whether you understand Sanskrit or not, but in Sanskrit there was Madhura custom which said Adharam Madhuram, Vadanam Madhuram. Like the concept is other, hont madhur hai, lips are madhur, right? Pleasant. Madhura Adhipate Rakhila Madhura means Krishna. Everything of Krishna is Madhu. So the point is that you can keep on excelling in life, and excellence is a fantastic thing. If you become excellent in one part of your life, then slowly and gradually you'll start becoming excellent in everything. But perfection is a myth. And while the previous speaker was talking about journey and destination, right? Excellence is always a journey. Excellence is always a journey. You may keep on traveling and still there is something. And perfection is a dead end. It never happens. Right? Only in a particular context I'm talking about. My point is that don't keep on waiting for being perfect. Whatever is going on, let us go ahead with that. Distractions. Distractions, such type of distractions. Our major distraction only this. Right? Your Instagram and this and that. Like that. So can we handle that? Now, as I said, the simple things are D. Do it. If the work is important, urgent, do it. Once you do it, you'll be happy from within. If you feel that you are just keeping on writing this in the to-do list, but you actually don't intend to, delete. Delete. It's a temporary pain, but then gone. But only and only if it is not important. Right? Delay what is not urgent. If something is not urgent, can be done later on, then you can delay it to a certain extent. Defer, right? Pizza rule, defer. And one other very important thing, if that is not that very important, or if it is repetitive, delegate it. Delegate it. We are chartered accountants, we are leaders, we can build teams. And whatever is repetitive, why should we do it? Delegate it. So simple. Many things I might not be good at. While I might be good at finance, I might be good at delivering lectures, but I might not be good in some of my office work. Delegate it. But delegation is not dumping once again. Just because you cannot do something, dump it. No. Because it is repetitive or it is a low value, it creates less value, or it is something which others could do in your office, delegate it. So it is D, 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 D. Simple. Some simple thing, as I said once again, keep your desk clean. Keep your desk clean. Believe me, you'll be at very much easy if you can do the same thing at home. Very, very fortunately, I have a habit. I keep all my things very, very properly in my home. It might take 2 or 3 minutes more, Ajilji. 2 or 3 minutes more. But believe me, how easy it is. In the morning, you don't have to rush here and there and here and there. Everything is in a proper place. Very small thing, but we can do that. But we can do that. Well, if we talk about, once again, procrastination, it's only a wrong mindset. It's only a wrong mindset, right? And the first thing is that we are into vicious circle of that. Once you start procrastination, we are into vicious circle. We'll have to understand one thing, we have only one life. Now, please understand, no bookish things, something which I believe, and something which is true for our chartered accountants. Friends, while many other people at our age, I completed my chartered accountancy 3 decades back, right? 3 decades back, most of the friends of my age would not take the risk of doing chartered accountancy. I'm sure all the senior people, I can see people will agree with me. Not all the people of your age would have taken the risk of completing chartered accountancy. That means we had the capacity to take the risk. We wanted to do something big. And if we want to do something big in our life, then we cannot stop everywhere. Procrastination will hold us at small places, right? Go like a bullet train. You don't have to stop at small stations. Procrastination is something more an emotional drama, right? It is not about time. It is about the emotional drama. And with this emotional drama, whatever you do, even you try to befool yourself, on the other side, you know very well what is happening. The previous speaker talked a lot about spirituality. I was listening to him very peacefully. In India, it is said that dukh, sorrow, उसका सबसे बड़ा कारण है द्वंद्व. Dvandva. Let me give my interpretation of Mahabharata. Rupalji, I might be totally wrong, but this is my interpretation. I believe that Mahabharata wanted to say that the 5 Pandavas are our Indriyas. We have 5 Indriyas. And Krishna is the consciousness. You take 5 Pandavas, these are our good thoughts. And you take 100 Kauravas, they are also our thoughts. They both come from the same mind, and that's why they are cousins. Now it is your choice. Now it is your choice. You want to give your reign to consciousness, Krishna? If yes, but for that consciousness, you require focus. Only Arjun can do that. And the 4 horses, right, which are carrying me, that is, in India, it is said, earth, calm, all these things, 4 important aspects of life. If you do everything with consciousness, that is Krishna, with focus, right, like Arjun, you are going to win all the battles, because those 100 thoughts, you know very well, more negative thoughts come in your mind. That's why more Kauravas. Otherwise, think about it. Can a father say that the name of my son is Duryodhan? Bad wealth. Duryodhan is bad wealth. Durshashan, bad administration. Durshala, everything bad. My own children. It actually wants to say that consciousness. Consciousness. If more conscious I am, and I don't want to be too very, very serious about anything, I just want to tell one thing. If I'm very happy about my life, sir, it is my life. Right? Whatever the way it is going on, but it is my life. At least I like myself. I have to ensure if nobody is there, maybe Vipul Bhai does not help me in making my life better. He is happy in Oman. Maybe Amit Bhai is not interested. Maybe Rupal Bhai does not meet me any program, but at least I am there with myself. Let me make my life very throbbing, very vibrant, very romantic, of course. Who says chartered accountant should not be that romantic, right? I have to make that life. And if I have to do that, it's life management and time management, small part of it. Procrastination means I am stopping my happiness. I am stopping my happiness. A little step move forward. Maybe, sir, it is only the decision to wake up in the morning which is tough. Once you wake up, then that beautiful sunrise is a very different thing. The decision is tough, right? But believe me, the moment you overcome, and I tell you one very important thing about procrastination, friends, our subconscious mind registers everything. Every time I say that I'll do this and I don't do that, the subconscious mind records, don't trust this gentleman. Whatever he says, he does not do. And throughout my life, that will happen. I have to take promotion, the subconscious mind say he does not deserve. I want to succeed, the subconscious mind say, no, he cannot. But every time I decide something, in spite of whatever difficulties, I take that step ahead. The subconscious mind says he is very trustworthy. Whatever he says, he does. Forget the world, what the world says to me. That might be important, but the most important thing for me is what my mind tells to me. If I really want to do that, see, some procrastination sometimes here and there is going to happen. If I and you raise above and go for being perfectionist, maybe you become and I become Mahavir and Buddha and Krishna, which probably it's a very difficult task, still a very long journey for that, right? Difficult destination, Rupalji. But the point it is our life. It's our life, right? Why procrastination every time? It is said that the birds of despair will fly over your head. Don't allow them building the nest. Each pen is full. 5 minutes a day. Wisdom lies in not exceeding it. That does not mean if today 5 minutes foolishness is not there, you carry forward next day to 10 minutes. This is only a lighter example. My point is that we all are very ordinary people, right? And being ordinary is extraordinary. It's our life. We can create it the way we want. Procrastination is a disease. It's okay. Sometimes procrastination will also happen. Sometimes we'll make mistakes. It's okay. We don't have to curse ourselves. But the thing is, we cannot make it a habit. Right? It's only that first step which is required and everything else can change. I think these are some very small things. Once again, at the cost of repetition, I believe that for chartered accountants, if something is a problem, then this is the problem. Please ensure that this is neat and clean. This is neat and clean, right? This is neat and clean. Your desk is neat and clean. And first is start liking yourself. Sir, believe me, I'll tell you one statement. Rabindranath Tagore said one day that each child born gives me an assurance that divinity is not yet fed up of us, mankind. Otherwise, think about it, what mankind has done to the universe, to the earth, right? No animals have caused any difficulty to the earth except the mankind. The most intelligent species on this earth is responsible for all the problems with the earth and unearth, right? Still, that divinity is not fed up of us, and that's why we are born. So that means we have a reason to be happy. My happiness is with me. If I am happy, most of the procrastination problems will go away. But if I only read the books and try out very hard, push it hard, internally I'm not very happy with that. How does it work in a long time? So according to me, it's happiness, accepting that I have a fantastic life and I'm meant to still elevate my life. This is my life. Nobody else is responsible for that. I am responsible. I can do. And I'm not making theoretical. I'm not talking theoretical. I enjoy life. Sir, believe me, when I came to Oman physically, I moved across entire Oman. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I'm not sure how many speakers physically come to Oman must have visited the places. I was in Qatar last time, and one of my very good Qatar-based friend, he told me, "Boss, you know more about Qatar than me. You have moved more." So the thing is, I love myself. I love my life. So I enjoy that. If I do that, why would I procrastinate continuously? Right? Maybe only in a few cases I'm procrastinating, at least better than what we are doing otherwise. So this is something I really wanted to convey. If there are any questions or whatever, I'm not sure how the things are going to happen. I'm available now also, and maybe someday physically also would be happy to once again join you all and discuss on some good topic. Thank you very much, Oman chapter, for this wonderful opportunity.
Thank you so much, Jay Chhaira, and sharing from your practical life. Yet it is very simple, but it is pushing us, especially doing something big in life. And when we are towards the new year, it is really powerful insights helping us to rethink and again reshaping ourselves. The floor is open for a few questions, and here both Jay and Rupal was with
Rajiv,
us.
you can unmute yourself.
Hi, Jayji. Hi, this is Shilpa from Muscat chapter. How are you?
Perfectly fine, Shilpaji. Thank you. And
It
thank
was
you for
such,
all the compliments that you have put in the messages.
yeah, guess what? I'm doing my evening walk and listening to you. So I do a little bit of what you
Fantastic.
do.
Ah,
And
wonderful.
I really loved whatever you spoke about. I loved the way you conducted the whole session. It was very practical. It was the perfect thing that one needs. Thank you so much for your presentation, Jayji. And look forward to you visiting Oman again.
Thank you.
Maybe you will help us explore more on Oman when you are here as well.
I'll definitely do that. I'll be very happy to meet all of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, members can unmute and ask the question.
Oh, I like to ask Jayji, what is your zodiac sign?
Oh, these are some very horrible questions. Honestly, I never
No,
thought
no
about it,
personal
but it
questions
is
here.
Leo. Madam, I'll tell you one very beautiful thing. Maybe the stars and moon might affect us. Yes, they do affect. But believe me, something what is within my mind, millimeters in my mind, affects me much more than the stars, which are very, very far away light years. They might be affecting, but the most important thing is affecting me is inside. Very, very near. Anyway, I'm a
Yeah,
Leo.
glad to know I am a Leo too.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like your concept of 12-hour fasting for the mobile phone.
9
Maybe
to 9 close.
we'll try to implement it. Let's see. डर लग रहा है लेकिन करेंगे.
नहीं करके देखे होगा. सर जरूरत क्या है रात को मोबाइल ऑन करने की? कुछ नहीं हो रहा है.
Correct.
Life is going on very well.
Correct.
Jayji, I have a living example in my home. My husband does that. The minute he walks home from work, his mobile is away.
So because he has got a beautiful wife, that's why.
And I would again ask him the same question that your friends ask you, what if something is urgent? His reply to
So we are not doctor's boss. कहाँ कुछ urgent होने वाले बता दो आप. क्या कर लोगे आप?
Correct. Great. So
Ladies
if
and
there are no questions, then we can proceed, Ajit.
yes, ladies and gentlemen, as a token of appreciation for sharing their knowledge and time with us today, we would like to felicitate our speakers. I request CA Unmesh Bome kindly join the felicitation.
Yes. So thank you, Rupal ji. Thank you, Jay ji. And since we are meeting virtually, we are giving this virtual certificate as a token of our appreciation for the ways and then the techniques you have guided our members, which will bring a lot of change if they even follow a couple of them, not all of them. I would want all of them to follow all the techniques and the inputs you have shared. But even if somebody is able to utilize couple of them, obviously it will make a lot of difference in everybody's life. And then that's what the mental health. There is a saying in Marathi. It says, "Mana karare prasanna sarva siddhiche karana." Means if you have a pleasant mind, everything will happen. If you bogged down by the pressures around you, things may not happen, which probably are even easier. But only if you are able to keep your mind happy, things will fall in place. And probably the D is what you have given. Do it, delete it, delay it, divide it, delegate it. I think that's what I also liked. So thank you, Jayji, for enlightening our members, and I'm looking forward to host you again at Muscat, sir.
Thank you very much, Ajil ji, Umesh ji, Amit ji, Vipul bhai, Rupal ji, and thank you all very much. And we're very happy to interact with you any point of time. I am available to any one of you on call, mobile, message, whatever the may be. Maybe not immediately during that 12 hours, but I'll respond it back. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Rupal, thank you very much.
Yeah, and then
Thank you.
Rupalji, I think you have been quoting Ramayana and Mahabharata throughout your presentation. I think we need to have a separate session only on the management aspects which are emanating from the great epics like Ramayana and Mahabharata. So thank you for guiding our members. We look forward to host you physically at Muscat. So 2026, let's plan for it, and then looking forward to meet you in person, sir. Thank you very much for guiding our members.
Thank you so much, sir. It really has been
Thank
indeed
you
an
very
honor.
much. Somebody has asked me my number. I'm just putting up in the message. And thank you very much for all the messages that you have done. And my number otherwise is available at the ICAI website also, being a council member. You will get all my details. I already put it in the group. That is Zoom. Available anytime. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Udmesh ji. On behalf of ICAI Oman chapter, I thank all the speakers and thank members for joining this virtual seminar. We look forward to your continuous participation for the upcoming events. Have a pleasant evening ahead. Thank you and stay safe. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.